So, when you think about the battle for banking customers in Brazil, it feels like it's a fight between two extremes, right? You've got the old school traditional banks on one side and the shiny new digital only apps on the other. But what if the real winner is a company that just refuses to pick a side? Today, we're diving into Agi, a bank that found a huge opportunity not by going to one extreme or the other, but by building a bridge right down the middle.
You hear it all the time, right? The future is 100% digital. Physical bank branches are basically dinosaurs. But what if that's not the whole story? What if it's a dangerously incomplete picture? Agi is betting their entire strategy on that idea. And they're proving that maybe, just maybe, the most profitable part of the story is the one everyone else is ignoring. I mean, think about it. On one hand, you have the classic bank building. It's familiar, sure, but it can also feel kind of bureaucratic and slow. On the other hand, you've got this super powerful app on your phone. It's fast, it's efficient, but for a lot of people, it can also feel totally anonymous, maybe even a little intimidating, especially when it's your money on the line. This is the real dilemma facing millions of people.
Okay, so let's zoom in on Brazil, because this isn't just some abstract business school problem. We're talking about a massive gap in the market that's leaving millions and millions of people behind. Here's the deal. The big established banks, they're shutting down physical locations left and right to cut costs. And that leaves whole communities without any way to get in-person help. At the very same time, the purely digital banks, as cool as they are, can feel cold and way too complex for folks who aren't super tech-savvy, or who just, want to talk to a real human being about their finances. This creates this huge vacuum. And that vacuum is exactly where Agi steps in. They looked at this gap not as a problem, but as the very foundation of their entire business model. Their answer? A hybrid approach that really tries to give you the best of both worlds. And that brings us to their big idea, the phygital model. It sounds a little techy, but the concept is actually super simple and honestly pretty profound. It says, let's stop forcing customers to choose between a physical branch and a digital app. Instead, you integrate them. You make it so you can walk into a store for a complicated question, but then manage all your daily payments right from your phone. It's about offering both and making it feel totally seamless. So here's the physical piece of that puzzle. These are not your grandpa's old, dusty bank branches. AG calls them smart hubs, and they're designed for one thing above all else: human support. It's about building trust, which is something that is incredibly hard to do through just a screen. And then, of course, you've got the digital side, which is powered by the Agi Bank app. This is a really robust platform for all the everyday stuff. Checking your balance, paying bills, you know the drill. It gives you all the speed and convenience you'd expect from a modern app, but without having to give up that human touch. But look, you can have the best model in the world, but if you don't know who you're building it for, it's pretty much useless. And this is where Agi's strategy gets really, really sharp. They aren't trying to be the bank for absolutely everyone. They are laser-focused on exactly who they serve. And who is that? It's Social Security beneficiaries and public sector employees. Now, this is not a niche market. We are talking about a group of about 100 million people. Let that sink in. That's nearly half of the entire population of Brazil. It's this massive, often overlooked group that's just perfect for Agi's high-touch, high-tech model. And their whole playbook for serving this audience boils down to 3 core principles. Number 1, always, always put the customer's needs first. Number 2, never stop investing in and improving your technology. And number 3, make decisions based on creating long-term value, not just chasing short-term wins. It's a simple playbook, but it is incredibly powerful. Okay, so we've got the problem, we've got Agi's hybrid solution, and we've got their customer-first playbook. But does any of it actually work? Well, this is where the story gets really, really compelling. Let's look at the numbers. Yeah, that's the billion real question, isn't it? Is this whole phygital strategy just a nice idea on a PowerPoint slide, or is it a real engine for growth? Well, the answer is a massive, resounding yes. Get this, their number of active clients exploded from 3.9 million to 6.7 million in just 1 year. That's a 73% jump. 73%. That is just explosive proof that there was this huge pent-up demand for exactly what they're offering. And all those new customers are translating directly to the bottom line. Total revenues shot up by 47% in that same period, going from 7.3 to 10.7 billion reais. So this isn't just growth for the sake of growth. This is profitable, sustainable growth. And finally, check this out.
Their interest-bearing assets, which is basically the core engine of the bank that actually earns money, surged by 63%. This number is so important because it shows that people aren't just signing up. They're actually trusting Agi with more and more of their financial lives. The model is just firing on all cylinders. So, an incredible year for sure, no doubt about it. But here's the thing. As impressive as all this growth is, Agili might just be getting started. They might only be scratching the surface of what's possible. The total market that they're targeting in Brazil is worth an estimated 2.1 trillion reais. Trillion, with a T. Even with all that explosive growth we just saw, Andy's slice of that pie is still tiny. The runway ahead for them is just absolutely immense. And it all brings us back to that first question. In a world that seems to be racing as fast as it can towards a digital-only future, Agi's success is this powerful reminder. Maybe, just maybe, the future of banking isn't about choosing between technology and a human touch. Maybe it's about mastering the art of both.